to ask you about Ukraine.
Yeah,
because you have a connection to Ukraine.
I do. I got my yellow and blue on right now. My godparents lived in Ukraine. My godfather was from the Ukraine, so I just grew up with this interest in it, and I actually got to go there in 1998. I was like 13 or 14.
Wow.
What a cool experience for that age.
Yeah, no kidding.
It really was transformative
Yeah.
for me because I had never really had traveled anywhere up to that point. It was my first time out of the country. We were just going to visit my godparents. My godfather had helped start a church there. It was sort of like underground
Sure.
because of Russian influence and everything.
Mhm.
And so it was dark times back then, but what really was a beautiful time. We got to go to an opera house there where we saw a ballet. It was like the first ballet I ever saw. I totally picture that on my head.
What part of the country were you in Ukraine?
In Kiev
Oh,
or
you were.
Kiev, depending on how people say. But it was it was really impactful to really see that the beauty of the country, the wonderful people that we met that were so warm. But it also is a fairly impoverished country as well. So like being 13 or 14 as a kid from Aquanago, being like, oh, okay, this is the other side of the world and how, fortunate I am. So
now when you see what's happening there, when you saw it, it was beautiful and it was more rural, and now there's tanks rolling through the streets.
Literally, I honestly, I'm a little tired today. I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till 1 a.m, got up early this morning, and just thinking of, I don't personally have family and friends over there, but my godparents and their family do, and seeing them post about it, it's heartbreaking, and it goes well beyond heartbreaking. It's infuriating. It's upsetting. It's just all the different emotions, and I don't know, for the listeners listening, I don't know. People probably have varying different reactions to it because you don't have a personal connection to it like I do.
Right.
But oh my God, is this a big deal? There's literally war in Europe.
It's a really big deal.
And I always say to John, and I've said this to you before, is that I'm so thankful that I live in the US and I don't know what that's like. Yeah. But I can empathize. I can't imagine if that ever happened, here.
Right. We can't wrap our arms around that. Even being a possibility.
Wrap your mind around that.
And it's interesting because, again, going back to 1998 when I was there and then staying in touch with those people, it's in some ways, I was talking with Nick, the producer, we were walking in some ways, today is not a shock at all. Like we've been leading up to this for decades, especially since 2014.
Kind of bracing for that.
But yet to last night, when I was about to go to bed and then seeing that they were actually going in to invade Ukraine, one country is going into another,
a sovereign nation.
Unbelievable. I mean, also, I want to say this too, for people that haven't been to the Ukraine, haven't been to Eastern Europe, I think you think of it as this very far off place.
Yeah.
Us growing up, being from Wisconsin, a lot of us have family and friends or have been to Germany. I was looking it up online this morning. Melissa, you and I were just in Florida.
Yeah.
It would be a shorter drive from Germany to the Ukraine than would it be us to drive down to Florida right now from Wisconsin. That's how close. Yep. That's how close what's happening.
Everything in Europe
is
really, really close. When you think about it, the United States is so large when we travel anywhere.
People just don't think of the scale of it.
And that's also why this is a big deal. Yeah. I mean, it's Poland next. Poland is right there. Western Europe is not very far from Belarus and Ukraine.
I'm thinking of, with it being within 24 hours since what happened has happened, it's hard to think of anything but the people on the ground. But my mind also goes to, like, what is this setting a precedent for? Like, what will we look back on this day from, of where our world will be in like 2 decades from now?
I think you're right. That's why this is a big deal.
Yeah.